What do you think?
It was a choreographed disaster. The pattern of it is just too obvious. Not only were they blocking where I was at, the other end of town, I found out they had Maui Electric was trying to set the poles up during the wind, and they had the highway blocked off with that. And the lack of communication, the sirens not going off, the water not being used, you could go on and on.
The man you just heard from is a survivor of the Maui wildfire. He escaped on foot because the roads were blocked. He has lived in Hawaii for 23 years, and they call him Fish. I'm going to put his Venmo in the description in case anyone wants to donate. But getting back to the video, before someone calls me a conspiracy theorist, let's go over the mishaps that happened before, during, and after the Maui fire. We'll begin with how the fire started. The fire started because a power line was blown down due to high wind. But in the event of high winds, the electric company is supposed to shut off those power lines to prevent a fire. Their water was shut off, and all lines of communication were shut off the night before. Maui firefighters that were at the scene didn't do anything to put out the fire because they said it was contained. The emergency sirens that are supposed to alert residents of fires were never turned on. Their excuse was they didn't want people running towards the fire. Right, it's more important to prevent idiots from going to the fire than protect the residents of Lahaina who are in the fire. In July, the governor signed an emergency proclamation relating to housing, which made it easier and much quicker to get building permits for new housing. Out of the 3,000 school children, only 600 were confirmed to be found. After the fires, there was a tall black fence put around the entire area that was burned down. They no longer allow any drones to be flown over, and no one is allowed near the fence with a camera. And of course, the most obvious, both ends of the street to escape were blocked off, one by police and the other by the electric company. Fish would later find out the next day the people that were sitting in their cars were later engulfed in flames. None of them survived, which means the police kept them there and they sat there waiting for their death.
I couldn't go down the highway because the poles were down, so I went around Safeway, back where the luau was at, and I saw all the cars were there, and none of them were moving. And I started walking north towards the chart house, which took probably about 10 minutes, and there were a few people walking in front of me, and I figured something must have been obstructing the traffic up ahead, another pole down or something like that. But when I got to the chart house, all that was there was a police car parked on the side and one policeman in front of the traffic, and he wouldn't allow them to leave. And I saw all the police there, and when I got there, I was wondering why they were all stopped, and I was wondering, is he going to allow me to walk through? But I looked ahead and I saw one person on a bicycle and one person walking ahead, and I saw that they weren't being stopped. And I looked over at the policeman and I said, what are you doing? And he says, I'm just following orders. I said, there's a fire back there, and he goes, well, I'm just following orders, and I'm wondering what is going on. And so I just decided, well, I'm going to walk right by him. This is crazy. He's got to be letting these people out.
But just like any crime, you have to find motive, and that's the hardest part. Based on the secrecy of the burned location, the government officials that were in on the burning, and the fact that even those who didn't lose their homes were evicted, we can only assume they are tearing it all down to build something new. That also aligns with the construction permits that I told you guys about earlier.
Well, it's something probably anyone who's been on the internet for 30 years like I have knows that BlackRock and Vanguard are the owners of the Hawaiian Electric Company, where FEMA's staying at their $1,000 plus rooms is owned by Bill Gates. All the same names keep popping up. The sheriff who was involved with the Las Vegas debacle, he was here for 5 weeks. He wants a 29% increase in pay, and he's not only the police chief, but he's the coroner.
Right,
And
which is against the statute, right?
Against the statute,
supposed to be
Hawaiian law, but
right.
There it is. What are you going to do about it?
If you guys take anything away from this video, just know that nothing about this fire is normal. There's going to be fact checkers. There was already people blaming it on climate change. The president has no comment. If you guys ever find yourself in a situation like this, you're stuck in your car and the cops are telling you to stay put, but your gut is telling you otherwise and you feel like your life is in danger, don't be afraid to do the right thing. We can't keep putting our trust in authority. The authority doesn't care about us. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Maui fires. Don't forget the Venmo link in the description if you want to donate to the gentleman that was being interviewed. I also have other videos down there for you guys to watch about the Maui fires. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content just like this. I'll see you in the next one.